It was a hot day, and a fellow student walked inside the class, and she was like, this room is very, very not comfortable. And it was like, hey, some people, she would start caring about their sweat or something. And I was like, oh, that's me. I hadn't used roll-on that day. For me, I'm an outgoing person. I'm an extrovert. I'm a musician. I'm an artist. I'm a creative. So the situations where I have to sing in front of people, those are the situations. You can actually feel the drip of the sweat coming, trickling down. We have a long way to go. We have a lot of people to reach out to know that sweat is a relationship and it matters in our each and everyday lives. And because it matters to someone, it also matters to us. Hi, my name is Glein Mahera. I study bachelor's in animation at USIU. I'm 23 years old. I go through the condition called primary focal excessive sweating. It's a type of sweat that's it's underarm, and it's also not just normal like everyone, but it's excessive. I was born in Gishu, that's in Eldoret, and that's where I started life with my mom and dad while I was schooling at my kindergarten at a school called Shining Star Academy. Then I moved to the primary school just next to Shining Star. It's called Kandia Primary School. I did class 1, class 2, then my dad passed away. So our whole life at Gishu was done, so I had to move actually to my grandpa place in Soi, where I did my early class 3, class 4, class 5, class 6 at Worldgate Academy. Then I moved to Narok to my uncle, who was my guardian. I did my class 7 and class 8 in my KCPE. So I scored 362 and at a school called Nairenke Primary School. After class 8, I got a full scholarship by Safaricom. It's called M-Pesa Foundation Academy. M-Pesa Foundation Academy now then took me through the whole high school. I did Form 1, Form 2 Kenyan curriculum. Then the school thought it better to change the curriculum. Luckily, I was like, I'm not good with the KCSE curriculum, so I had to switch to the International Baccalaureate program, where I did my BTech Level 3, Creative Media Production. Then after that, I was privileged to join African Digital Media Institute, where I did my passion, which is animation. I love animation. I have a passion to tell stories through creative characters, creative colors, and I just guess I'm an aesthetic person. So that's the medium I tell my stories. Then right now I'm doing my bachelor's in animation at the United States International University. I started noticing my excessive sweating mostly it was after I joined high school. Primary it was, but I guess in the primary school it wasn't big of an issue. Maybe because I think most of the people were sweating. But now when you get to high school, it's different, because now people are more into using deodorants. People want to smell well. People don't want to smell awkwardly. So I started noticing when I used to go for sports, even just during a normal day when I'm not going for sports, mostly Form 1, Form 2, when I was doing hockey that time. So I could notice when my sweat was excess, because you can find like your underarm shirts, they do have a certain smell and a certain patch. Even So even if you wash it or you try to use some jig or something, you notice like it's somehow excess. It's not like the other people who are washing their clothes. Now for me it was easy to notice because in high school we used to stay in a room together. You're 4 people and it was a social life. You meet in the lounge, you sit together, so you could tell, this guy is from sports. Either he hasn't taken a shower or there's something wrong. But for me now, the wrong part was, yes, I'm from sports, but I've used the deodorant, but still there's some issue. So that led me to actually start using either more deodorant. I could try like maybe using it twice, but it couldn't really work. You could find that you use it, but yes, it limits to a certain point, but you still hear something is off. Something is off. And in classes, you could notice it, but mostly because it was a social class, no one could really tell you, hey, there's something wrong with you. The time I noticed is when it was a hot day, actually, but this is now back then to campus life. So I was doing a project in the animation class. Okay, the animation class, I guess it's because of the computers and the CPU. The room is hot. Maybe I don't think I'd switch on the AC. And a fellow student walked inside the class and she was like, this room is very, very not comfortable. And it was like, hey, some people should start caring about their sweat or something. And I was like, oh, that's me. I hadn't used roll-on that day. So I knew, oh, this is me. I remember it was when I was joining USIU for it's called the freshman party. So I was modeling. I was taught modeling in high school. So I was like, there's a party, we have to model. So in situations like that, even before I model or walk the runway, I have to really check, am I smelling correct? So that day, I think I hadn't used a roll-on. And I was like, there was a guy I'd met when I was doing the orientation. He was like, Glenn, you'll model for the freshman. And I was nervous because I was like, today my sweat is not good. I'm not gonna walk that runway. So in that point, I had to talk to a friend and told him, hey, I really need this. I really need a roll-on, and we've left the school and I didn't use it. And these guys are telling me I have to walk the runway. So you have to help me. So he had to help me. I got it. I walked the runway and I was, I think, the 3rd runners up. But the whole people who were there, they wouldn't know that the situation I had. Because now for the modeling, there's also a part you have to model with a lady. Now that's the hardest part. It affects your self-esteem because you have to choose a lady. Hi, we want to walk the runway. This is the steps we'll take. And I want you to go with me. But if you're smelling not nice, she'll be like, this is not nice. Church, that's not an easy one because now for church, most people go to church. Wase wengi wanaenda church, unaenda hapo, you have to takuruka, you want to praise, kuna miondoko zako, you want to praise God with, and excessive physical activity kaku dance, there'll be excessive sweating. So it's a challenge, unapata, those people with the excessive sweating, when they can just take a shower and they'll be good throughout the day. So when they do that, no one noticed the first time they praise God, then ananukia not nice. So the next time, utapata, the guy is just kept to himself. So me, actually, I noticed that, for me, nili notice, and I used to keep it to myself, actually. Singeruka ama nini, because one thing about sweat, it really affects your self-esteem. When you smell nice, you look nice, mostly smelling nice, simple. There's a certain esteem una feel within you. You can do this, you can talk to this person, and you have that confidence. And once that confidence is broken, mostly by excessive sweating, now ujui, it really causes a lot on someone. Yeah, wardrobe choices. Yeah, actually black. Black mostly ndio inakwanga the covering for that, because unajua if I wear that my white shirt, and so this is a problem because in high school we all had to wear official white with your tie. So the white with someone who has excessive sweating, unajua tu the patch is usually there, so unapata you can't lift your hands ama nini. When I'm seated like this, I'm comfortable, and so when you have to pick a guitar probably, so you know your arms have to be that way, the camera can pan, can come closer to you, so you're usually conscious what's up with my shirt because it has that funny marking. So for school it's different and it's very hard because you don't have a choice to change your wardrobe. For high school I couldn't change, so niyo white too, and all my white shirt ukiangalia patch zote patches. So after campus now you have the ability to choose. I want a vest, but after I learned about hyperhidrosis, I guess something just lifted. The guilt and the shame really lift. So even no matter even if I don't smell nice, I know it's a challenge. That's the thing for me. I know it's a challenge. And even if I see someone is troubled about that, I can just tell him, hey, I know this and this is happening. It's because of this and that. But it's okay for you to feel that way and to think that way. Mostly when you're just in class, you're cool, you're chilled. There's nothing that will stress you. It's not you who is going to speak in front of the other classmates. You're not the lecturer, you're not the performer. So when you keep it yourself, sometimes when you even use the roll-on, you're cool, you're good. Okay, you're somehow good. But now situations which bring it up. Then after that, it's not only that, after that is the smell. So you enter the stage a different person, you are cool, you're calm. Then when you see people, mostly with artists, when you see the crowds, I'm there with my guitar and the microphone is there. So there's that just anxiety that comes with it. How will I perform? How will I sing? What was my key? You can even forget your lyrics when you're on stage. Everything, like you go blank. But now for an excessive sweating, on top of that, you have the sweat. And when you feel it trickling down, actually you can feel it trickling down, the smell is after. So maybe you go through it, then after that, the smell, I have to deal with the smell. So even no matter how well you do on stage, when people are like, you did well, you don't even want the accolades or the anything. You just want to get away from them. Let me go get a shower or get myself smelling nice, then I can come take your accolades. So situations like performing in front of people, maybe when a teacher calls you to do your presentation, the sweat comes up, and now that's bad. Now you forget everything and you remember the sweat. In my own support system, one of them I found is a student, but I had to explain to him. And I had to tell him, hey, I usually have this issue. I sweat a lot. Yes, I may use roll-on, but it may not be as effective, or if something triggers me and I'm anxious, the sweat is going to come out. It will not be good. There's only one student that knows about it, and he's the one I opened up to when I was modeling, and we had to go to the place and had left my roll-on. And I guess the activities we did, I started sweating, and I was like, hey, if I'm going to role model again, my guy, you have to help me get a roll-on. So we have to go to a shop, buy it. So he's the only one who understood it. And actually I told him about hyperhidrosis and even about Hyperhidrosis Kenya, the Instagram page, and he was like, wow, I didn't know this exists.
Let's talk about the interactions with the ladies.
No. I model, so my interactions, it's usually easy when I'm just walking. I'm from class, going somewhere, I'm not going to speak to anyone, I'm not going to hug anyone. So that one is usually easy. But for me, I do model. Modeling part, when you're walking the runway and you have a lady, you have to hold her hand. You have to move your hand around her, maybe depending on how you want to walk the runway. So that's usually the hardest one, because you know that she will know your smell, and it's not gonna be good. If she liked you, she's going to be like, no, we can't walk the runway together. And you find even it's hard to talk, just talking to ladies, simple, because you're like, I have to smell nice. How I arrived at hyperhidrosis, Kenya, I don't know, but I think it can date back to my Google searches, because as someone who sweats excessively, I know I delete my browsing history, but if you can find the history that I can just search sweat, you can find there are some searches like, why do I sweat like this? I think there's one search I did. It was, why does my sweat smell like burnt something? So you find those searches. I used to search them. I don't know how I really found hyperhidrosis, but I think it was through search, because I was like, there's this, what is the condition called? Even that's usually a big thing to know. It's called hyperhidrosis, excessive sweating. There's a thing like it. So I think I was just searching or just browsing, either browsing Instagram, browsing Google, browsing whichever way I was browsing, but I just landed on hyperhidrosis. And I was like, that was a very big day for me, because that's the day when your mind is blown out. Oh, this is a real thing. I don't have to be keeping this to myself. Then after video, when you swipe, you see this guy talking about excessive sweating, and these are the products that can help you, and these are the products which cannot help you, and you start learning it's an issue. So the first thing for me to even learn about it was to accept the shame and the guilt that I used to have. Maybe it's because I didn't do this, maybe I'm not doing this. So I think I just found it through YouTube searches, YouTube or Google searches. I can't really pin to the place I found hyperhidrosis, Kenya. So HAK has been very impactful for me. First thing, it was the awareness. I was able to accept the situation that I was in and the guidelines, because HAK has videos on the guidelines that can help you. So it was like, this is what you can do. You can apply it before you go to sleep. You can do this and that. So it has really been impactful for me. The mind-blowing part was being aware and accepting the shame and the guilt that comes with excessive sweating. Then I think this will be a very good topic of awareness to our institutions, starting even from high school institutions. After puberty, when now you start having maybe sweats and stuff, and high school where people also do a lot of physical activity, sports, it will be really impactful for people to make this aware, and those who have excessive sweating to find the best thing that can help you. Because I can tell you, I've used a lot of money on sweat, a lot, because you're like, today I'll try this one. You don't even know about it. You don't even know what the difference between the different products that you have. So I've used a lot of cash on just sweating, just to make sure I smell well. A forum will be very good and very helpful, even for the students who are studying under the School of Medicine. Now basically USIU, where I study, I think it will be good for them to understand not just it as an issue or as a topic they learn during their lectures, but something that really matters more to student lives and to people's life. I've been there. I know what it feels like. I've been through the journey, and this is normal. These are the words I feel if someone told me that time, it could make me more aware and more confident in myself, because there are stages I missed. There are people I didn't talk to because of my sweat relationship. So I'm making you aware, hey, that this is normal. you will get through it. It's a normal thing. Everyone goes. Some people go through it, even though some people may not understand. It's okay. So if you're a friend to someone, if you're a mother, if you're a father, if you're a lecturer, yeah, we do have sweat relationship, and it's okay to reach out to someone who you may feel this is not nice, and trying to understand the problem. It's not just good to look at the problem and turn the other way. You're like, this guy smells not nice. There's excessive sweating. There are different types of sweating, and these people also have their dreams, they have their goals, and they need you to reach their goals. So it's good just to be caring, go an extra mile to find out what's going on and how can we help them, because their dreams matter and their goals matter too, and their lives matter. Hyperhidrosis Awareness Kenya says, sweat without shame.